Power is not gifted. It is not inherited, bought, or shouted into existence. True power is quiet. It moves subtly, shifts atmospheres, and bends situations. Not by force, but through self-mastery. You've seen it before. The person who walks into a room, and suddenly everything feels different. People listen, tension fades, focus sharpens. Without a single word. This isn't luck. It's built, piece by piece, habit by habit. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Epictetus taught that freedom comes not from external gain, but from controlling what lies within. Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Imagine walking into a tense meeting, a chaotic room, or a stressful conversation, and remaining calm. Observing, listening, acting, not reacting, while others flail under emotion. This is the power of discipline. This is the power of habit. In this video, we'll uncover 10 habits that every powerful person possesses. Habits that turn ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. Each principle is actionable, grounded in Stoic philosophy, and designed to help you gain clarity, focus, and unshakable influence. By the end, you won't just understand power. You'll start to embody it. You'll see how mastery is cultivated in small choices, in emotions restrained, and in focus maintained despite chaos. If this resonates, like the video, share it with someone who needs it. Drop a comment with your favorite Stoic insight, and subscribe to join a community committed to self-mastery, resilience, and true power. Open your mind, observe yourself, and commit to change. Number 1. Master the mask. Power is rarely loud. It does not announce itself with bluster or demand attention. True power whispers. It moves in the smallest details. The tilt of a head, the pause before words, the stillness amid chaos. It is in these moments, almost invisible, that the world measures your strength before you even speak. A nervous laugh when silence is required. A frown that betrays uncertainty. Eyes darting when pressure rises. These micro-moments, unnoticed by most, leak power like water through a sieve. And yet most people hand over their strength without knowing it, through uncontrolled expressions, reactive gestures, the unconscious betrayals of the face. The first habit of real power is mastering the mask. The deliberate control of the face you present to the world. This is not deceit, nor is it pretending to be someone else. It is cultivating presence, commanding attention, and establishing authority without a single word. The mask is the first battlefield. If you cannot govern it, you have already surrendered. Consider the hidden weaknesses that betray so many. Under stress, under scrutiny, under pressure, the face becomes a traitor. Fidgeting fingers, nervous smiles, over-explaining, instant reactions, each is a quiet surrender, each signal, "I am not in control, you are in control of me." Power is lost before the conversation even begins. The world tests you not only in boardrooms or grand confrontations, but in subtle, unassuming moments. A raised eyebrow, a silence hanging too long, a soft insult meant to provoke. Your face delivers the verdict before your voice can intervene. Master or servant. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." He did not speak solely of disasters or public calamities. He spoke of micro-decisions, of everyday moments where character is tested. Marcus Aurelius, bearing the weight of Rome, reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength, and the mask, the expression you carry, is the outward proof of this inner mastery. When the face is steady, controlled, deliberate, it signals to the world that the mind is sovereign. Picture a tense meeting. Two colleagues argue, voices rising, hands slamming tables, their faces flush with impatience and frustration. A third person enters. Expression calm, posture steady, mask unbroken, no fidgeting, no flinching, no overcompensation. He observes, waits, and when he speaks, the room bends, not because he shouts, but because his presence is absolute. Every eye turns, every mind pauses. He mastered the mask. His stillness is magnetic. Authority is silent, yet undeniable. Now imagine a more personal scenario, an insult, sharp and public. Most would flinch, smile nervously, or retaliate. The disciplined one, however, does not react. Face unmoved, no weakness exposed, no crack to exploit. The insult falls flat, its intended power evaporating into the silence he commands. The aggressor, expecting reaction, is left unsettled. Control has shifted without a word. Power is not seized, it is radiated. Contrast this with those untrained. Faces betray them, smirks when seeking approval, frowns when challenged, widened eyes at surprise. Micro-expressions, small and fleeting, declare inner chaos. They are instruments in the hands of circumstance. Every glance, every twitch, every shift in expression is dictated externally. But the disciplined individual is different. Each expression is chosen. No flinch, no desperate joy at praise, no impatience scrawled across the face. Calm, steady, deliberate. People lean in, unsettled. He is the master of the room, the master of the moment. Nature provides endless metaphors. A lake at dawn, surface mirror, smooth, reflecting sky and trees perfectly. Beneath, currents move with quiet force, unseen but unstoppable. A statue carved in stone does not yield to wind, rain, or sun. Its stillness transcends the chaos around it. A lever, when positioned precisely, moves enormous weight with minimal effort. So too does a mastered mask. The surface is calm, yet beneath lies force, intent, and control. A single steady expression can shift the energy of a room, redirect conversation, neutralize tension, and command respect. The benefits compound over time. First, clarity. When you refuse to flinch or overreact, your mind slows. Observation replaces impulse. Decision-making becomes precise. Reaction is a reflex. Composure is choice. Second, reputation. In a world of volatile emotion and constant oversharing, calm composure becomes magnetic. People take note, quietly respecting what cannot be shaken. Third, inner strength. Discipline of the face reinforces discipline of the mind. You become less manipulable, less reactive, less drained. Power, once leaking in micro moments, is contained, consolidated, radiated. Mastering the mask reshapes presence itself. You will not need to assert authority vocally. You will not need to dramatize or perform. Enter a room, and the environment bends subtly toward you, not through volume, but through the unshakable calm your mask conveys. Your stillness speaks, louder than any shouted command. Your power, deliberate and quiet, moves silently through every interaction. Seneca reminds us, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. This begins here, in the mask. Every expression is an instrument. Every pause, glance, and micro-reaction is a choice. Master these, and the world bends silently to your command. Fail, and your strength evaporates in the unnoticed, seemingly insignificant details. Remember, the world tests constantly, through insults, through silence, through chaos, through the trivial provocations of everyday life. Most flinch. Most react. Most surrender power unconsciously. But you, having mastered the mask, are different. You are the calm in the storm. You are the measured glance in the midst of chaos. You are the presence that bends the environment, unseen but undeniable. Power is quiet. Power is deliberate. Power begins in the face you present, in the pause before words, in the stillness amid pressure. Guard it, train it, own it. Your mask is your first defense, your first declaration of mastery, and your first proof that your mind, your presence, and your discipline are unshakable. In mastering it, you do not merely look powerful. You become powerful. Number 2. Power lies in angles, not force. Power is rarely brute. It does not come from exhausting effort, endless struggle, or loud assertion. True power lies in understanding leverage, knowing how a small, precise action can move mountains that sheer force cannot. It is in the angles, the pivot points, the unseen edges where influence multiplies quietly, imperceptibly, yet decisively. Most people push harder, strain longer, exhaust themselves in futile motion, believing effort alone defines achievement. They mistake force for mastery. And yet, life rewards the architect who finds the right fulcrum. Consider the hidden weakness of effort without angle. A colleague stays late every night, responding to every email, solving every problem personally. A student rereads the same pages endlessly, convinced repetition equals learning. A manager micromanages every task, thinking presence equals control. Hours accumulate, energy depletes, yet results stagnate. This is force without leverage, motion without direction, sweat without weight. Life tests not only ambition, but insight. Where do you apply your energy, and to what end? Epictetus reminds us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Power, too, he would imply, consists not in doing everything, but in doing the right thing at the right place. Marcus Aurelius, observing the empire he bore, recognized, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The lesson is subtle. Raw energy is secondary to precision, pressure applied in the right angle. The stone may be massive, but with a lever, even one hand can shift it. Visualize this. Two people try to influence a room. The first yells, argues, pushes, forces. His motion is constant, his effort visible. The second leans back, studies the dynamics, speaks at the perfect moment, and places a single suggestion that shifts the group's consensus entirely. The first has exhausted himself, the second has moved mountains with a gesture. The difference is not effort, it is angle, insight, leverage. One bends the room, the other is bent by it. Now imagine negotiation. One man pushes aggressively, hoping to win through insistence. Another watches, listens, identifies a single leverage point, a priority, a hidden need, a subtle fear, and places his words strategically. He does not shout, he nudges, he pivots, he applies minimal pressure for maximal shift. The deal changes before the other knows it. Power is not in brute force. It is in the unseen edge, the lever, the perfect angle. Contrast the untrained with the architect of leverage. The untrained grinds endlessly, reacting to every impulse, pushing against resistance with muscle alone. Frustration mounts, energy drains, results falter. The trained individual moves differently. He identifies pivot points, shifts effort where it counts, and lets the environment, systems, and people amplify his action. A single correct angle produces 10 times the effect of raw energy. One move renders 10 others unnecessary. This is the principle that transforms life from labor into mastery. Nature mirrors this truth. Consider the river. Water cannot climb a cliff by force. It carves the rock gradually over time, following the path of least resistance, bending mountains subtly, inevitably. A bird does not flap against a storm, but tilts its wings to catch the perfect wind. A small wedge-split stone. Even the lever, a principle older than civilization, teaches that small directed pressure at the right point achieves what brute strength cannot. The world rewards those who bend, pivot, and leverage. Those who push blindly are consumed. The practical application is deliberate. Observe first. Every situation contains a hidden hinge, a point of leverage. In meetings, identify the question that, once answered, resolves the majority of conflict. In negotiations, find the priority the other cannot give up and pivot around it. In personal relationships, understand which small gestures shift moods and outcomes disproportionately. Apply effort where it multiplies, not where it dissipates. Over time, living with angles reshapes psychology. First, clarity. Energy applied strategically requires thought, attention, and observation. Reflexive action gives way to deliberate choice. Second, reputation. Those who act precisely with economy and effect are noticed. People sense mastery even without noise. Third, inner freedom. When you stop exhausting yourself on tasks that yield nothing, energy compounds. Force dissipates. Leverage accumulates. You become like the river, the lever, the architect who moves worlds without struggle. Imagine walking into a chaotic office. Others rush, react, expend themselves. You pause, assess, find the hinge, and apply your move. By the time the rest are tired, your single, precise action has shifted outcomes entirely. Authority flows naturally toward those who understand leverage. Effort alone is visible. Mastery is invisible. Power lies in angles, not force. Seneca guides us still. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. To expend effort without angle is to waste life. To identify pivot points and act precisely is to master it. Force may impress for a moment, but angles endure. Strategic application outlasts brute motion. Those who understand this live with compounded results, influence, and freedom. Remember, the world will constantly demand your energy through noise, pressure, competition, and chaos. Most will push harder, react faster, exhaust themselves. You will pause. You will assess. You will find the pivot point. You will act at the angle that shifts all, and in that action, power multiplies quietly, efficiently, irrevocably. Power is subtle. Power is precise. Power lies not in the quantity of effort, but in the quality and placement of action. Guard your angles, train your insight, apply force where it matters. Life bends before those who understand leverage. In mastering this, you do not merely work harder, you work smarter. You do not merely push, you move mountains with a whisper. Power is found in angles, not force. The world measures the result, not the struggle. Those who understand this are unstoppable, unseen, yet undeniably effective. Number 3. Silence sees what noise misses. The world rewards those who speak first, react fastest, and fill every moment with noise. Yet true power often lies in what is unspoken, in the quiet corners where the impatient cannot see. Silence is not absence. It is presence. It is a lens through which the world reveals its hidden motions, its unseen currents, its subtle truths. Those who rush with words often miss the pivot points, the underlying patterns, the angles that guide outcomes. Silence sees what noise misses. Consider how most people navigate conversations. They speak to fill the room. They argue to prove dominance. They interrupt, over-explain, react instantly to every jab. In doing so, they betray more than they reveal. They reveal their expectations, their impatience, their lack of observation. The mind that rushes with words cannot notice the nuances, the hesitation in a colleague's tone, the micro-expression that hints at doubt, the subtle shift in energy that precedes change. Noise masks insight. Silence uncovers it. Epictetus reminds us we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening is not passive. it is strategic. It allows the observant to perceive patterns, anticipate moves, and respond with precision rather than impulse. Marcus Aurelius, immersed in the chaos of an empire, practiced this daily. He did not react to every outcry, nor did he speak to dominate the room. Instead, he absorbed, reflected, and chose moments to act where his influence multiplied. The wise understand, words without awareness are empty. Silence is the conduit of understanding. Visualize a boardroom filled with tension. Voices overlap. Opinions clash. Most participants argue to be heard, shouting to assert presence. Amid the noise, one person sits, quiet, eyes scanning, mind noting. Every pause, every subtle shift in posture, every unspoken doubt is recorded in their awareness. When they speak, it is deliberate. Their words strike with clarity because they are informed not by impulse, but by the observations gleaned from silence. Noise may grab attention temporarily. Silence shapes outcomes permanently. Contrast this with a personal scenario. A friend provokes, seeking an argument. Most respond instantly. Words fly, emotions flare, and the moment erupts. The silent observer, however, allows the provocation to pass. In the pause, they see the underlying need, the insecurity, the true intention behind the words. They choose whether to respond, and if they do, it is measured, effective, and unassailable. Silence transforms chaos into clarity. It converts reaction into strategy. Nature offers endless metaphors. The owl moves in the night without sound, yet observes all. The deep river flows unseen, shaping valleys over centuries without a shout. Even the shadow reveals what the glaring sun misses. Silence, like these forces, is subtle yet powerful. It does not demand attention, yet it commands understanding. The loud often miss what is vital. The quiet perceive the invisible. Over time, mastering silence yields profound benefits. Clarity emerges. In the absence of reaction, the mind perceives more, thinks deeper, and chooses better. Influence grows. People notice composure, restraint, and insight. Inner strength solidifies. The silent do not act out of impulse, they act from command. Your presence becomes magnetic not because you dominate conversation, but because your stillness allows you to understand, anticipate, and act with effect. Seneca reminds us, silence is a lesson learned through life's noise. The world will always rush, argue, and overshare. Most miss the subtleties. Most react, giving away power in words they cannot take back. But you, through observation, patience, and restraint, see what others cannot. You act where the noise fails. Your decisions are sharper, your influence is deeper, your mastery is silent but undeniable. Power is not in how loudly you can speak, but in what your silence observes. Guard it, cultivate it, allow stillness to teach what noise cannot. Because silence sees what noise misses, and in that unseen vision lies the true advantage. The quiet dominion, the unseen mastery that shapes outcomes long after the shouting fades. Number 4. Command through mystery. True power is not always loud. It does not announce itself with certainty or boast of accomplishments. Often, it is the unseen, the unknowable, the unpredictable presence that commands the most respect. To master influence, one must embrace mystery. Mystery is not deception, it is restraint. It is the art of revealing just enough to guide, but never so much that the world can predict or manipulate you. Command through mystery. Those who are fully known are easily influenced. Those who are partially unreadable are untouchable. Consider everyday interactions. Many people rush to explain themselves, to justify, to reveal every intention. They overshare, overreact, overexplain. In doing so, they become legible. Others can anticipate their moves, exploit their desires, and manipulate their choices. Mystery, however, preserves power. By controlling what you reveal, by choosing silence over impulsive explanation, you retain the advantage. You guide, influence, and shape outcomes without being fully seen. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." To command through mystery is to internalize control before it is ever visible to others. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor weighed down by the affairs of Rome, often acted with discretion. He revealed only what was necessary, letting strategy, not spectacle, direct action. Those who wield mystery do not dominate through words alone. They dominate by being unreadable, by being deliberate, by being steady. Picture a tense negotiation. Opposing parties reveal their positions, trying to test each other. Most react openly, showing eagerness or anxiety, giving away intentions. One participant remains calm, measured, enigmatic. They speak when needed, but their timing is deliberate, their words weighted. The unknown element in their presence unsettles others. What do they truly want? What are they planning? The uncertainty bends the room. By revealing little, they control much. Mystery is leverage. The unseen is authority. In personal interactions, the same principle applies. A friend or colleague attempts to provoke, to gauge your reaction, to exploit weakness. The predictable respond immediately: anger, laughter, explanation. The master of mystery observes. They let tension linger. They respond not with emotion, but with calculated presence. Others are left guessing. The unpredictability creates respect, caution, and deference. Command is not taken by shouting. It is earned by restraint. Nature teaches this lesson endlessly. The panther moves silently through the jungle, unseen, unpredictable, commanding the ecosystem by presence alone. The moon governs the tides with invisible influence, unseen but undeniable. Shadows conceal, yet signal form. The night does not scream, yet it is powerful. Mystery, like these forces, exerts influence without force, shapes outcomes without exposure, and commands without coercion. Over time, cultivating mystery brings profound advantages. Clarity emerges. By not overreacting, you preserve your energy and judgment. Influence grows. People lean in, curious, cautious, respecting what they cannot predict. Strength solidifies. You are less manipulable, less exhaustible, less cornered. Every micro-reaction is a choice. Every revelation is intentional. Mystery becomes a shield and a sword simultaneously, shaping perception while protecting your inner command. Seneca reminds us, "He is most powerful who knows what he hides." The world will always probe, test, and attempt to uncover you. Most reveal themselves too quickly. Most hand over advantage unconsciously. But you, mastering restraint, mastering unpredictability, are unreadable. You do not need to dominate through volume or exposure. Your presence alone shifts dynamics. Your silence and selective revelation are your leverage. Your mystery becomes your authority. Remember, command through mystery is not artifice. It is mastery. It is the deliberate choice to reveal only what strengthens you, to act only when it multiplies impact, to be seen enough to be respected, but unknown enough to remain untouchable. Power is not in being fully known. It is in the unspoken, the unseen, the unknowable. Your presence, calibrated and enigmatic, guides the world before a word is spoken. By mastering the art of mystery, you do not just participate, you shape, influence, and command. And when the world wonders about your next move, you are already 3 steps ahead. Number 5. Value rises with rarity. True worth is never in abundance. The world inundates itself with noise, faces, opinions, and distractions. In such a landscape, those who are ordinary blend in. Those who are rare stand out. Value is not measured by how many times you appear, how often you speak, or how loudly you assert yourself. Value rises precisely because it is scarce, because it cannot be found everywhere. The rare, by definition, commands attention, respect, and influence. Consider the common mistake most make. They make themselves available to everyone, visible at all times, responding immediately to every demand. Their energy, their presence, and even their words are diluted by abundance. They mistake motion for impact, repetition for authority. In truth, the world only values that which is limited, that which cannot be claimed without effort. When something is everywhere, it becomes ordinary. When it is rare, it becomes precious. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." The principle of rarity applies to presence and attention as much as to virtue. By choosing carefully where, when, and how to invest yourself, you create scarcity. Scarcity is the silent magnet of influence. When you appear less frequently, your words carry weight. When you act selectively, your actions resonate further. When you hold back, you create anticipation. Imagine a room where everyone speaks at once, offering opinions, seeking attention, striving to be seen. Amidst the chaos, one person remains quiet, listening, observing. He does not interject constantly. He waits. When he finally speaks, every head turns, every ear lean in. His rarity makes him valuable. His scarcity amplifies his authority. People do not just hear him, they measure him, assess him, respect him. Rarity is not only about presence, but also about emotional availability. Those who overreact, who always display every thought and feeling, saturate their environment with predictability. The rare individual, however, reveals selectively, responding deliberately, letting others work to understand them. Mystery and restraint enhance perceived value. When your energy, your time, and your attention are limited, others cherish them. Influence rises naturally. Nature teaches this truth effortlessly. Diamonds are valued not because there are none, but because they are rare. The tallest tree in a forest draws the eye not by movement, but by unique presence. A river that runs constant and predictable can be ignored. A waterfall that appears suddenly in a hidden gorge commands awe. Human society mirrors these lessons. Scarcity elevates perception, rarity creates demand. Practically, cultivate this habit by mastering selective engagement. Speak only when your words matter. Act only when your action carries weight. Guard your time, your attention, and your presence. Let others fill space where you choose not to enter. Your restraint is not weakness. It is a signal that you are valuable, measured, and not to be taken lightly. Over time, this discipline reshapes influence. Your presence becomes noticed. Your decisions carry weight. Your actions resonate. The rare individual is not only respected, they are remembered, sought out, deferred to. Value is a currency earned not by abundance, but by careful scarcity. Remember, in a world awash with overexposure, value rises with rarity. Guard your presence. Choose your moments. Speak less. Act selectively. Be rare, and the world cannot ignore you. Number 6. Friendship with boundaries. True friendship is not measured by quantity or constant availability. It is measured by quality, trust, and mutual respect. Yet most people misunderstand this. They give themselves freely, without limit, sacrificing energy, time, and peace for those who may not value it. In doing so, they blur the line between loyalty and servitude. Friendship without boundaries is not generosity. It is a slow leak of your power, your attention, your inner calm. The first lesson is that boundaries define value. When you are always available, your presence becomes expected, even taken for granted. When you honor your own time, space, and energy, you teach others to honor it too. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one friendship, like virtue, requires discipline. It flourishes not through indiscriminate giving, but through intentional, balanced connection. Consider how most people behave in relationships. They answer calls immediately, say yes to every request, suppress personal needs to maintain harmony. Their generosity becomes invisible. Others lean on them, drain them, and often forget to reciprocate. Boundaries, though uncomfortable at first, clarify where your energy belongs. They distinguish the true friends who respect and uplift from those who merely consume. Boundaries also protect your emotional stability. Epictetus taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Similarly, emotional wealth comes from selective connection. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By setting limits, you safeguard the quality of your attention and the depth of your loyalty. True friends do not demand endless availability. They thrive on respect, reciprocity, and clarity. Imagine two scenarios. In one, a person answers every message, attends every gathering, and sacrifices personal time repeatedly. Over time, resentment builds, energy drains, influence wanes. In the second, a person responds deliberately, commits to meaningful interactions, and protects personal time. Their presence is valued. Conversations carry weight. Friendships deepen. Rarity and respect amplify connection. The disciplined individual becomes magnetic not because of constant presence, but because of intentional, bounded engagement. Nature mirrors this principle. Trees that spread roots too thin across barren land weaken and fall. Trees that grow with structure, roots deep and selective, survive storms and flourish. People, like trees, must allocate energy wisely. Boundaries are the structure, the unseen roots supporting thriving, enduring relationships. Practical application is simple but requires commitment. Communicate your limits with clarity. Protect your personal time. Learn to say no without guilt. Engage fully in relationships that reciprocate respect and care. Avoid overextending yourself to those who drain energy without return. Your presence is a gift. Give it wisely. The psychological benefit is immense. Boundaries cultivate respect, preserve clarity, and create space for growth. Your energy becomes your own, your loyalty intentional, your friendships meaningful. In a world of overextension and emotional fatigue, the person with boundaries is rare, influential, and steady. Seneca reminds us, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Friendship with boundaries ensures that you surround yourself with people who elevate rather than diminish your life. By protecting your energy, you amplify your value, your influence, and your inner strength. Friend wisely. Give selectively. Guard your energy. Set boundaries. When you do, friendship becomes a source of power, not a drain. Remember, the strongest relationships are not the most frequent. They are the most intentional, respectful, and rare. If you found this helpful, like, share, and comment your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical wisdom on mastering life and building influence. Number 7. Anticipate the knife. Life is unpredictable. Betrayal, criticism, and hidden agendas exist quietly, often arriving when least expected. The wise do not live in naive trust, they live in preparedness. To anticipate the knife is to recognize that threats, emotional, professional, or personal, often come before they are visible, and to cultivate the mindset and habits to defend, respond, and remain unshaken. Most people react. They flinch when insulted, stumble when undermined, and scramble when confronted with unexpected opposition. In doing so, they give power to circumstance, to those who wield their knives carelessly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The first step in anticipation is awareness, seeing the knife before it reaches you, understanding its origin, and preparing your response. Consider the subtle forms knives take in daily life. A colleague spreads half-truths to undermine you. A friend offers advice meant to sway you from your values. A family member uses guilt as a weapon. These are knives, sharp and hidden. Most people discover them too late, after damage has been done. But the disciplined individual watches, listens, and reads between the lines. He anticipates the strike without paranoia, acting with clarity rather than fear. Visualization brings this to life. Imagine a tense meeting. Someone covertly tries to discredit you. Words are chosen carefully. Smiles are false. Intentions hidden. The unprepared person reacts impulsively, defensively, emotionally, visibly shaken. The knife pierces. But the prepared one has anticipated. He remains calm. His face and demeanor betray nothing. He does not give away the reaction the attacker seeks. The knife glances off, impotent against composure. Presence, preparation, and foresight are the shield. Epictetus reminds us, we are not disturbed by events, but by the views which we take of them. Anticipation is not cynicism. It is clarity. It is seeing potential challenges before they arrive, strengthening the mind to meet them and keeping the face steady while others flail. The knife loses its power when it meets calm awareness, strategic thought, and deliberate composure. Nature teaches the same lesson. A predator approaches the herd. The watchful animal sees the subtle signs, movement in the grass, rustle of leaves. It does not panic. It positions itself, balances, and acts when the moment is right. The herd that anticipates survives. Humans must do the same in social, professional, and personal arenas. The knife is inevitable, but it need not wound. Practical application is clear. Observe first. Listen more than you speak. Note patterns in behavior, subtle shifts in tone, and inconsistencies in action. Cultivate patience. Delay judgment until you have the full picture. Respond only when necessary and always from a position of control. Anticipation requires mental rehearsal, awareness, and discipline. The more you practice seeing the knife before it strikes, the fewer times it catches you unprepared. The psychological benefit is profound. You gain clarity, reduce emotional turmoil, and retain unshakable composure. Your reputation strengthens. People see you as unflappable, measured, and wise. Most importantly, your power is preserved. By anticipating the knife, you no longer stumble into the designs of others. You navigate around them, neutralize them, or convert potential attacks into lessons or advantages. Seneca wrote, "He is most powerful who has himself in his own power." Anticipation is an extension of that principle. To foresee, prepare, and remain unshaken is mastery. The knife loses its sting when the mind is steady, the presence calm, and the intentions deliberate. Life will always throw blades in the shadows. Most will be caught off guard. Most will bleed from the unseen edges. But you, prepared, disciplined, aware, will remain unbroken. Anticipate the knife. See it before it strikes. Stand firm. Guard your mind, your energy, your presence. And in doing so, you do not just survive, you prevail. Number 8. Own the narrative. Life is a story, but not everyone writes their own chapters. Most people allow circumstance, gossip, or other voices to draft their identity, line by line, moment by moment. To own the narrative is to seize control of the story the world talks about you before it is written without your consent. True power lies not only in action, but in perception. Those who master the narrative shape reality itself. Consider how easily narratives slip away. A colleague misinterprets your comment. A rumor spreads at work. A friend recalls an event differently. Most react defensively, trying to explain, justify, or argue. In doing so, they hand away control. Each defensive word, each flustered response, each visible frustration is ink on a story that was never theirs to begin with. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Ownership begins in the mind, then manifests in action, presence, and ultimately, reputation. The weak allow others to script their story. Their emotions dictate the plot. Their face and words betray uncertainty, desperation, or anger. Every gossip, every small criticism reshapes the narrative unless they intervene. The disciplined, however, writes first. They project confidence through calm expression, deliberate speech, and controlled reactions. They let the world see only what they allow. They do not react to every whisper. They act with timing and purpose. Every chapter they author reinforces authority and respect. Imagine a workplace scenario. A project fails due to factors beyond your control. Colleagues begin assigning blame. Speculation rising. The unprepared reacts immediately, defensively, perhaps with visible frustration. The narrative shifts and your reputation bends under rumor and perception. Now consider the prepared individual. Calm, collected, precise. He frames the context. What happened, what is being done, what the future holds. He does not over-explain. He does not react to provocation. Yet every word, every pause, every measured glance communicates mastery. The narrative bends toward him. He is the author of his own story. Nature offers a parallel. Consider a river. The water does not resist the rocks. It flows around them, redirecting energy with grace and control. The river shapes the land over time rather than letting the landscape define it. In life, those who own the narrative bend perception and influence subtly, quietly, but irrevocably. Practically, ownership requires awareness and timing. Speak less, observe more. Note how words, actions, and presence are interpreted by others. Frame your story with intention. Decide what to reveal, what to withhold, and when to act. Anticipate misunderstandings before they arise. Address rumors subtly, correct misconceptions without desperation, and act in ways that reinforce the story you want told. The psychological benefits are profound. First, clarity. When you control the narrative, your mind acts from purpose rather than reaction. Second, influence. People begin to trust the story you present because it is consistent, deliberate, and unshakable. Third, resilience. When you own your narrative, external chaos cannot easily destabilize your sense of self. Seneca advised, "He is most powerful who has himself in his own power." Ownership of the narrative is the modern extension of this wisdom. By controlling what is written before others can, you guard your mind, reputation, and influence. You dictate how the world perceives you, rather than letting perception dictate you. Life will always offer interpretations, judgments, and rumors. Most react, most falter, most allow others to write their chapters. But you, disciplined, strategic, deliberate, write first. Own the narrative. Set the story. Lead the perception. And in doing so, you do not merely survive. You shape the world's understanding of you. Number 9. Invisible hand, visible honor. True influence is rarely loud. It does not announce itself with arrogance or demand recognition. It moves quietly, deliberately, like the wind shaping dunes or water carving stone. The world often measures success by spectacle, the flashy display, the viral moment, the overt assertion of power. But real power, lasting power, is found in the invisible hand, the quiet acts, the subtle guidance, the unspoken authority. Yet while it is unseen, its impact is undeniable. leaving behind visible honor that others respect without fully understanding why. Most people chase recognition. They broadcast their achievements, over-explain their decisions, and demand applause for every success. In doing so, they expose their motives, their need for approval, and their vulnerability to judgment. The invisible hand, however, operates differently. It acts without the need for validation. It shapes outcomes subtly, influencing situations, guiding people, and setting standards quietly, deliberately. Its effects ripple outward long before acknowledgement arrives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is the essence of the invisible hand. Embody the principle, act with integrity, and let the outcomes speak for themselves. Honor will follow naturally, without being demanded. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The hand moves unseen. The honor becomes visible. Picture a scenario. In a workplace, a leader never seeks the spotlight, never interrupts, never overtly demands authority. Yet, quietly, he mentors others, sets the tone for professionalism, anticipates problems, and creates solutions before crises erupt. Colleagues notice the results. Respect grows. Influence spreads. He does not command it through noise. He earns it through action. His hand is invisible, yet his honor is visible. Contrast this with someone who loudly seeks recognition. They overstate contributions, react to every comment, and constantly broadcast achievements. Others may notice briefly, but respect is shallow, conditional, and fleeting. The invisible hand, in contrast, fosters deep, lasting credibility. Influence is multiplied, and honor is earned silently, radiating authenticity. Nature offers insight. Consider the sun. It does not boast, yet it nurtures life. Or the roots of a tree, unseen beneath the soil, they stabilize and feed the mighty trunk above. Influence works the same way. Those who master the invisible hand shape outcomes beneath the surface, while visible honor follows naturally, like the bloom of a tree. How to cultivate this habit? Speak less than others expect. Act with intention rather than for applause. Observe the landscape of human interaction, then act where impact is greatest. Help, guide, correct, and contribute without broadcasting every move. Honor is amplified when it is earned, not demanded. Be the force that moves quietly but decisively, the hand others feel but cannot see, the standard others unconsciously follow. The psychological and social benefits are immense. First, respect. People notice results and reliability without feeling coerced. Second, influence. Subtle actions produce far-reaching outcomes, often beyond immediate recognition. Third, personal integrity. By not performing for attention, you maintain alignment with your principles. The invisible hand cultivates a reputation that is untouchable by gossip, hype, or transient trends. Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." True wealth is invisible influence and visible honor. By mastering this principle, you create a life where impact is quiet but profound, authority is earned, and respect is undeniable. The world is drawn to authenticity and consistency. Be the person whose actions ripple quietly, but whose honor is visible to all. Lead without theatrics, influence without announcement, serve without expectation. The invisible hand moves and the world bends around it naturally. If this insight inspires you, don't just read, like, share, comment, and subscribe for more timeless lessons in mastery, influence, and presence. Master the invisible hand, and your honor will always shine.